You brush your teeth, you dim the lights, you put your phone away, you do everything right. And still, sleep doesn't come. You lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, mind racing through every to-do list, every awkward conversation, every mistake from 10 years ago. You check the clock, you do the math. If I fall asleep now, I'll get 5 hours. If I fall asleep now, I'll get 4.5. You're exhausted. You want to sleep. But the harder you try, the more it slips away. What if it's not your body that's the problem? What if it's your beliefs? What if deep down there's a voice inside saying, you don't deserve rest unless you've earned it? Or, rest is lazy, rest is weakness. Or, people like me don't get to sleep well. What if those stories are what's keeping your nervous system in high alert, even when your body is begging to rest? This episode is about the invisible thoughts that steal our sleep. The quiet beliefs we've picked up from childhood, from culture, from trauma, that tell us we can't stop, that rest is unsafe, that slowing down means falling behind. We're going to name those beliefs. We're going to unlearn them gently, and we're going to replace them with something softer, something kinder, something true. Because sleep is not something you achieve, it's something you receive when your nervous system knows it's safe. Welcome to episode 10, the sleep-sabotaging beliefs. The stories we sleep with, where our beliefs about rest begin. Before we talk about sleep, let's talk about stories. Because long before you ever struggled with sleep, you inherited a story about what rest means. You absorbed it from your parents, from teachers, from the culture around you. You didn't choose it, it was handed to you, tucked quietly into the background of your life. And over time, it became a script your body began to live by, even if you never spoke it out loud. Maybe your story sounded like this: you don't rest until the work is done. But the work? It was never done. So rest became something you chased, but never caught. Or maybe it sounded like, rest is for the weak. So even when your body was screaming for stillness, you kept pushing. You learned to override the signals, to grind, hustle, perform. You wore exhaustion like a badge of honor. Or maybe your story was more subtle. I don't have time for rest. Other people need me more. I'll rest when I deserve it. And without realizing it, rest became conditional. Sleep became something to be earned. And your body, brilliant, loyal, exhausted, listened. See, your nervous system doesn't just respond to your environment. It responds to your beliefs about the environment. It listens to the meaning you give things. So when rest is associated with guilt or fear or failure, your body doesn't relax. It stays alert, guarded, even when you lie down, even when you're exhausted. And this is where so many sleep issues begin. Not with melatonin or mattress firmness, but with a belief system that says rest isn't safe, rest isn't allowed. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common sleep-sabotaging beliefs people carry, often without even knowing it. The first one, I must earn rest. This belief is deeply embedded in hustle culture. From a young age, we're praised for productivity, we're rewarded for busyness. We're told to keep going, power through, rise and grind. And rest? It's seen as a break from real life, a reward only given after a certain amount of struggle. So what happens when you lie down at night but don't feel like you've done enough? Your nervous system doesn't shut down. It stays vigilant, reviewing the day, pointing out everything you missed. You replay conversations. You think of unfinished tasks. You plan tomorrow's to-do list. Because rest hasn't been earned yet. The second belief. Rest is unproductive. In a world addicted to efficiency, rest is often seen as wasted time. If you're not doing, producing, checking boxes, you're falling behind. This belief turns sleep into an inconvenience, something to minimize, something to cheat. You convince yourself that 4 or 5 hours is enough, that you can catch up later, that pushing through it is noble. But here's the truth. When your brain doesn't get deep, consistent sleep, your memory, decision-making, creativity, and emotional regulation all suffer. Lack of sleep doesn't make you more productive. It makes you more reactive, more scattered, more fragile. Rest isn't what happens after productivity. It's what makes productivity possible. And here's a hard one. I'm not a good sleeper. So many people wear this like an identity. I've always had trouble sleeping. I just have one of those brains that won't turn off. I'm a night owl. And while some of that might feel true, those labels become self-fulfilling. Because if your belief is, I don't sleep well, your body gets the message. We're not safe when it's time to rest. Beliefs are powerful. They shape perception, they shape behavior, they shape biology. So what if, just for tonight, you made space for a new story? What if rest didn't need to be earned? What if sleep was allowed, not because you finished everything, but because you exist? What if your body was trustworthy? What if you didn't need to fix your sleep, but simply let it return, like a bird that comes back when you stop chasing it? The subconscious contracts, how your mind tries to protect you from rest. Sometimes it's not your beliefs about sleep that keep you awake. It's what your subconscious has promised to do while you're awake. These aren't loud promises. They're quiet, hidden, and they usually start when you're young, when something in your world feels unsafe, unpredictable, or out of control. In response, your nervous system makes a deal, a secret, silent contract. These contracts are protective. They're how you survived. But later, when life changes and you finally have space to rest, the contract still runs in the background, and rest becomes threatening, not because it's bad, but because it means breaking that contract. Let me show you what that looks like. One of the most common subconscious contracts is, I must stay vigilant. Maybe you grew up in a household where something could always go wrong. An unpredictable parent, financial instability, emotional volatility. Your young brain learned, stay alert, stay ahead of the danger. Sleep became risky. Letting your guard down meant missing the signs. So even now, decades later, when you lie in bed, your mind scans. Not because you're anxious, but because your nervous system is fulfilling its promise. If I stay awake, I can stay safe. Another contract sounds like, I must always be productive. This usually forms in environments where love or approval was tied to achievement, where slowing down led to shame, where your worth was measured by how much you did. So your subconscious made a deal. If I keep doing, I'll keep belonging. And sleep, it interrupts that belonging. So you resist it, not because you don't want rest, but because rest feels like disconnection. Then there's the deeply embedded one. If I rest, I will be forgotten. This shows up in people who had to earn attention by overextending themselves. Maybe you were the fixer, the high achiever, the caretaker. Rest meant stepping out of that role, and in your body's logic that meant becoming invisible. So even when you're exhausted, you keep showing up, saying yes, staying awake, because part of you believes that resting means disappearing. Another hidden contract is about grief. If I stop moving, I'll feel everything. For some, sleep isn't hard because of the body, but because of the emotions that come flooding in when everything else gets quiet. The regrets, the losses, the shame, the loneliness. So the mind resists sleep not because it's broken, but because it's afraid of what will rise in the silence. And so it distracts, overthinks, delays, because staying awake feels safer than feeling it all. These contracts were brilliant strategies. They protected you. But here's the thing, the threat they were designed to protect you from is probably not here anymore. You're not in that childhood bedroom. You're not in that unstable relationship. You're not that scared kid trying to keep the peace. You're an adult now, with agency, with choice, with access to support. But your nervous system doesn't work in years. It works in patterns. And unless those contracts are brought to light, they stay in power. So how do you release them? First, you name them. You sit with the question, what promise did I make to stay safe? Then you thank them. Yes, thank them. Say to yourself, this pattern helped me survive. I'm grateful. And now I choose something new. Finally, you create a new contract, one that sounds like this. I can rest and still be safe. I can slow down and still be loved. I can sleep and still stay connected. I can stop doing and still be worthy. You repeat it every night if you need to. You let your body hear it, not just from your mouth, but from your behavior, from your boundaries, from your breath. Because healing isn't about deleting old contracts. It's about replacing them with gentler ones, ones that honor where you've been, but don't bind you to who you were. The role of identity, how being a light sleeper becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let's talk about identity. Not the identity on your passport, the identity that lives in your nervous system. Because whether you realize it or not, you carry a story. Not just about sleep, but about who you are as a sleeper. And that story has power. Maybe you say, I've always been a light sleeper, or I just can't shut my brain off at night, or I'm the kind of person who doesn't need much sleep, or maybe sleep has never come easy for me. At first glance, these statements sound harmless, like personal anecdotes, but repeat them enough, and they become identity statements. And identity shapes behavior. It shapes expectation. It shapes physiology. Because the brain doesn't just respond to external cues. It responds to internal labels. If you keep telling yourself that you're a bad sleeper, your nervous system prepares accordingly. It braces for the fight. It readies for restlessness. It stays on guard. This is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. And when it comes to sleep, it's incredibly common. You lie down, already expecting difficulty, already believing your brain won't settle, already rehearsing the frustration of the past. So your body responds, not to the bed, not to the room, but to your expectation. And so the cycle continues. Now let's be clear. Some people have real diagnosable sleep disorders. Some deal with trauma, chronic pain, or health conditions that make sleep legitimately hard. We're not dismissing that, but for many, what begins as situational insomnia, a few rough nights, a season of stress, becomes chronic because of identity. The mind decides, this is just who I am now, and the body believes it. So what if you gently question that identity, not in judgment, but with curiosity? Ask yourself, what would it feel like to not be the bad sleeper anymore? Who am I if I'm no longer the person who struggles to rest? It might feel scary, because identity, even a painful one, gives us a sense of control, a story to tell, a reason for what we feel. But healing often requires grieving the identities that no longer serve us, even the ones we've carried for years. Here's a truth you don't hear enough. You don't have to be loyal to the version of you that couldn't sleep. You don't have to keep proving a pattern just because it feels familiar. You're allowed to change the narrative, gently, slowly, without pressure. Instead of "I'm a terrible sleeper," try "I'm learning to trust sleep again." Instead of "my brain never turns off," try "my mind is learning to soften at night." Instead of "I've always been like this," try "I'm open to a new experience." These aren't affirmations to force. They're invitations, new identities, waiting patiently for you to try them on. And the more you live as though rest is possible, the more your nervous system begins to believe you. Because identity isn't fixed, it's fluid. It's a river, not a stone. And your sleep doesn't have to be who you are. It can simply be what you do. Naturally, peacefully, again and again. What culture taught you about sleep? Productivity, guilt, and the myth of wasted time. You weren't born ashamed of rest. You weren't born thinking sleep was lazy. You weren't born measuring your value by how much you produced. You were taught. Somewhere along the way, through school bells and overtime, gold stars and burnout badges, late-night emails and 5 a.m. alarms, you absorbed a message. Sleep is for the unambitious. Rest is a reward. Time off is indulgent. Productivity is purpose. Output is identity. This is not your fault. This is the air we breathe. Especially in Western industrialized capitalist cultures, and especially in America, we are saturated with the belief that success is built on sleeplessness, that if you're sleeping too well, you're not working hard enough. Think about how we talk about sleep. Sleep is for the weak. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Rise and grind. You can rest after you make it. Winners don't sleep. These phrases aren't just jokes. They're cultural scripts, and the body listens. Even when you're exhausted, even when your eyelids are heavy, something inside says, "Not yet. You haven't earned it." We glorify the hustle. We celebrate burnout as a badge of honor. We post about our all-nighters like they're medals. And in the meantime, we forget how to breathe, how to pause, how to be human. So when you find yourself lying in bed at 2 a.m., mind spinning, heart pounding, unable to rest, remember this. Your insomnia might not be personal failure. It might be cultural conditioning. You were trained to resist rest, because rest threatens a system built on constant production. If you truly rested, truly slept, truly listened to your body, you might start asking different questions. You might start choosing different priorities. You might stop working yourself into the ground for approval you never asked for. And that would be revolutionary. But this shift doesn't start with a protest, it starts with a breath. With one quiet moment where you say, enough. Enough equating my worth with my output, enough carrying guilt for being tired, enough apologizing for needing sleep, enough believing that rest is a waste. Rest is not wasted time. It is the soil in which everything meaningful grows. It is where creativity is born, where memory consolidates, where healing begins, where relationships are repaired, where emotional regulation returns, where joy has room to re-enter the body. Rest is resistance. Sleep is a reclamation. And when you choose to honor your body's natural rhythm, even in a world that tells you not to, you're doing something radical. You're saying, I'm not a machine, I am a living being. I do not exist to produce, I exist to be. So tonight, when you lie down, let rest be your quiet rebellion. Let sleep be your sacred refusal to rush, to perform, to prove. Let your breath be a lullaby that says, I am not behind, I am not broken, I am allowed to stop. Permission to rest. Rewriting your inner dialogue about sleep. When was the last time someone looked you in the eyes and said, you're allowed to rest? Not after you've finished the dishes. Not after you've crossed everything off your list. Not when you've earned it. Just now. When was the last time you said that to yourself? Because for most people struggling with sleep, the battle doesn't begin at bedtime. It begins inside the voice that narrates their life. That inner voice, sometimes soft, sometimes brutal, constantly evaluates. Have I done enough? Did I show up right? Am I allowed to stop? And that voice follows you into the dark. You lie down and the commentary continues. You were lazy today. You shouldn't have skipped the gym. You wasted time. You don't deserve to rest yet. You'll never fix this sleep problem. This internal dialogue isn't neutral. It shapes your chemistry. It activates your stress response. It raises cortisol, increases heart rate, disrupts melatonin production. It keeps the body in do mode, even when the body is horizontal. So if we want to sleep better, we have to speak better. Not to others, but to ourselves. You can't shame yourself into rest. You can't punish yourself into softness. But you can begin, gently, to rewrite the script. Not with toxic positivity, not with fake mantras, but with real grounded kindness. It might sound like this. I didn't do everything today, and I'm still allowed to rest. I'm learning how to slow down. That takes time. My body is tired. That's not a flaw. It's information. I don't have to be perfect to deserve peace. Rest is my right, not my reward. And at first your nervous system won't believe you. That's okay. This isn't about instant transformation. This is about repetition. Because the voice inside your head was trained, and it can be retrained. Every time you choose a softer word, a gentler sentence, you are building a new neural pathway, a new way of being with yourself. And slowly that voice becomes your friend. It soothes instead of scolds. It notices instead of judges. It invites instead of resists. And when that happens, sleep no longer feels like something you must fight for. It becomes something your body naturally receives because your mind is no longer in the way. Tonight, as you lie down, I want you to try this. Put your hand on your chest, close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and whisper out loud or in your heart, I am safe to stop. I am safe to soften. I am safe to rest. It might feel strange at first, but your body is listening, and every kind word you give yourself is a step toward healing. A body that believes, training your nervous system to welcome sleep again. Your body wants to sleep. It's built to sleep. Just like a flower turns toward sunlight or a tide follows the moon, your nervous system carries an ancient rhythm. Sleep is not something you have to force. It's something your body knows how to do when it feels safe. The key is not to make sleep happen. The key is to create an environment where your body believes it's allowed to let go. That belief isn't just mental, it's physical. It's in your breath, your posture, your environment, and your habits. Think about it like this. If your body has spent years in a hypervigilant state, always on alert, always bracing for the next demand, the next conflict, the next thing to fix, then lying down to sleep doesn't feel relaxing. It feels threatening. Stillness feels vulnerable. Darkness feels dangerous. And silence, that just leaves room for racing thoughts. So of course you can't sleep. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was trained to do, protect you. But what if you could retrain it? Not overnight, not through willpower, but through repetition, through trust, through tiny, predictable moments of safety that slowly teach your body, it's okay now. We can soften, we can rest. The first step is rhythm. The nervous system responds to rhythm more than rules. That means going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time each day. Not because it's optimal, but because it sends a signal. This is safe, this is predictable, this is home. even on weekends, even when you feel like staying up late. Consistency tells your body, we're not in crisis anymore, we're in rhythm. Next, cues. Think of bedtime not as a moment, but as a runway. You don't just slam on the brakes and expect the plane to stop. You descend slowly. You dim the lights an hour before bed. You speak more softly. You avoid screens. You wrap yourself in warmth. You do the same small things each night. A cup of herbal tea, a few pages of a book, a stretch on the floor. These cues are not magic. They're memory. They remind your nervous system. This is the part where we soften. And then there's breath. The fastest way to tell your body you're safe is to breathe like you are. Slow, low, through the nose, out longer than in. You don't need a fancy technique, just this. Inhale gently for 4. Exhale slowly for 6. Do it 10 times. That's enough to shift your physiology, not into sleep yet, but into receptivity. Another tool, weight, deep pressure, a weighted blanket, a firm hug from yourself, a gentle hand on your chest. The body responds to pressure like it responds to being held. It says, we're grounded, we're safe, we're not floating in fear anymore. Sound also matters. Silence is not always peaceful. For many people, silence is when the noise inside gets louder. So instead, you create a soundscape, soft music, white noise, a fan, a guided meditation. Something that tells the primitive part of your brain, all is well. You don't need to stay alert. And finally, movement. Yes, movement helps sleep. Not just exhausting cardio, but regulated movement. Walks, gentle yoga, stretching, dancing. Even 5 minutes of shaking your body out before bed can help discharge the stress you've been carrying all day. Remember, a body in motion all day needs a chance to shift before it can settle. All of these practices have one thing in common. They rebuild trust between you and your body, between your body and the night, between your nervous system and the idea that maybe, just maybe, sleep is not a threat. It's a return. Beyond the night, how daytime habits set the stage for sleep. We often treat sleep like something that begins the moment our head hits the pillow. But in reality, sleep is a reflection of your day. It's not just a nighttime issue. It's a full body, all-day rhythm. And if your days are rushed, reactive, overstimulated, disconnected, your nights will mirror that. The nervous system doesn't have an off switch. It carries the imprint of your day into the dark. So let's talk about how your daytime habits set the stage for sleep. Not in a rigid, optimized, high-performance kind of way, but in a human, gentle, sustainable rhythm. First, let's talk about light. Your brain needs bright, natural light in the morning to anchor your circadian rhythm. This isn't just nice to have, it's biology. Morning light helps regulate melatonin production. It tells your body, this is day, wake up now, sleep will come later. Just 10 to 15 minutes of morning light exposure, even through a window, can make a significant difference in your ability to fall asleep later. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just step outside, open a window, look at the sky, let the light in. Next is movement. Your body was designed to move, and movement tells your nervous system it's safe to rest later. This doesn't have to be a hard workout. In fact, over-exercising, especially late in the evening, can spike cortisol and interfere with sleep. What matters more is consistency. Walks, stretching, gentle strength, dancing in your kitchen. Movement is emotional digestion. It helps process stress before it becomes anxiety. It clears space inside your body for rest to land. Now let's talk about caffeine. Not to demonize it, many people love their morning coffee, but what matters is timing and dosage. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning it can linger in your system well into the evening. If you're having trouble sleeping, consider cutting off caffeine by early afternoon. And remember, caffeine doesn't just delay sleep, it changes the quality of your sleep, especially deep stages. If your nights feel restless, even when you fall asleep, this could be a factor. Then there's screens. We all know blue light isn't great for sleep, but the issue is deeper than just light. It's about stimulation, constant notifications, scrolling, decision fatigue. The brain never gets a break. Even during downtime, our attention is pulled in 10 directions. So during the day, practice intentional disengagement. Small moments without screens. A walk without a podcast. A meal without multitasking. 5 minutes staring out the window. These pockets of stillness teach your brain how to settle so that at night, stillness doesn't feel like shock. Another essential factor is stress regulation. How you handle microstressors throughout the day shapes your nervous system's baseline. If you clench your jaw through every traffic jam, suppress every emotion at work, push through every sign of fatigue, your body stays in a state of subtle alarm. And that doesn't just disappear at bedtime. So instead you build a habit of downshifting, breath work, journaling, pauses, laughter, creative play, talking to a friend. These are not luxuries, they're nervous system maintenance. Also consider your meal timing and digestion. Eating large meals too close to bedtime can disrupt sleep, especially if your body is still working hard to process food. Try to allow 2 to 3 hours between dinner and sleep if possible. And be mindful of how certain foods affect you. Sugar, alcohol, heavy fats, all can interfere with deep rest. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, is your relationship with presence. Are you rushing through your day or inhabiting it? Because the nervous system sleeps best when it feels like it's arrived. If you're always mentally ahead, planning, rehearsing, calculating, your body gets the message that now is not safe, that it's not okay to stop. So throughout the day, return to yourself. Notice your feet. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Let yourself land. Let the day belong to you. Because when your days become more human, more rhythmic, more connected, more kind, your nights will follow. Sleep is not the end of the day. It's the mirror of it. The gentle way forward. Integrating sleep as a lifestyle, not a fix. Let's stop measuring sleep like it's a scoreboard. Let's stop counting hours like they define our worth. Stop chasing routines like they guarantee peace. Let's stop thinking of sleep as a problem to solve. Sleep is not a machine you fine-tune. It's not a reward for overwork. It's not something you earn by being good enough. Sleep is what your body already knows how to do if you stop interrupting the conversation. See, you don't need to become a new person to sleep well. You just need to live in a way that doesn't require so much recovery. Because maybe what's keeping you awake isn't the noise in your head. It's the life you think you have to live to be accepted. Maybe sleep doesn't return because your body is still bracing for a version of you that was never truly you in the first place. The way forward is not more control. It's more trust. Trust in your body. Trust in your rhythm. Trust in the truth that you are not behind. You are healing. This is the shift. Not from insomnia to perfect sleep, but from self-criticism to compassion, from performing to being, from burning out to softening in. And no, it won't always be easy. Some nights, the thoughts will still swirl. Some mornings, you'll still feel tired. But now you know the way back. Now you have language for the fear. Now you know how to hold space for the parts of you that learn to stay awake as a form of survival. You'll remember that rest is not a reward, it's a right. You'll stop shaming yourself when sleep doesn't come. You'll offer gentleness instead of pressure. You'll keep showing up, not with force, but with grace. And over time, your body will learn that the danger has passed, that you no longer have to stand guard in the dark, that the night can hold you too, that sleep isn't leaving you, it's waiting for your invitation. And maybe tonight, you'll whisper to it, "I'm ready now." If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sitting with yourself, for listening not just to me, but to your body, your nervous system, your story. The journey back to rest isn't always linear. It's not always easy, but every time you choose kindness over pressure, softness over shame, presence over productivity, you're creating the conditions for healing. That matters. That's enough. If this episode resonated with you, if it felt like a mirror or a comfort or even just a moment of quiet in a noisy world, I'd be honored if you'd share it with someone who might need the same reminder. You can also leave a review, subscribe, or comment below. Not just to support the show, but to help others find a little more rest in their own lives. And if you're walking this path and want to go deeper, to explore sleep, stress, and nervous system healing in a gentler, more sustainable way, stay tuned. There's more coming. You don't have to do this alone. Until next time, remember, you are not broken. You are not behind. You don't need to fix yourself to rest. You only need to remember that your body knows the way back. Sleep well, friend. I'm right here with you.